again, Year 6. I hope you are well. I'm back again to read you the next instalment of the Yark. I hope you are enjoying listening to the story. It's going to start getting even more interesting actually from today. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying it and I hope you are all well. Hello to anyone else who's listening who's not in Year 6. Just to remind ourselves, we learned some things about the Yark. We learned that the Yark loves to eat children. Okay, we learned that the Yark loves to eat children, but he has a real preference to eating children who are good. He can't, or his stomach can't handle children who are naughty. Now, the Yark was in a dilemma because everywhere he went, he couldn't find a good child. So he knew he was going to be he was already really hungry. And you saw that picture of him. He was really miserable, really downhearted at the time and just sort of downcast. And he came up with this idea that he knew how to get hold of the good children by going to Santa Claus's house and taking the list of children who are good, because only good children get presents from Santa Claus. And we read that actually he went to visit and he was really clever, wasn't he? He disguised himself by rolling around in the snow and looked like a polar bear and went to get the list. But Santa Claus managed to figure out who he was. And there was a bit of a kerfuffle at the time and, things started falling and, he was trying to get a hold of the list and he had to leave because Santa Claus managed to push him out. And then he was thinking, right, I don't have the list, what am I going to do? Until he realised that actually the list was sticking to his backside, wasn't it, when he went to get it out? So he's now got the list, and we saw that image of him looking extremely happy, dancing away with the list. And I don't know, those of you who are really observant would have noticed that actually the list is tiny. It was really, really small, which suggests that actually there aren't that many good children in the modern world. So we're reading chapter 5 now. It's called Charlotte. Now I wonder what comes to your mind when I say that the chapter is called Charlotte. Yeah, that's right. Charlotte is the name of a girl. So, if I was going to make a prediction, I will probably predict that he's going to come and meet a girl called Charlotte. And if I was going to link up my ideas with the list that he's got, I would say that she's probably one of the names on the list, one of a few names on the list. Okay. The Yark hovers joyously above the seas, forests and villages. His immense shadow looms over the sleeping world. By the light of the moon, he feverishly skims through the list in search of the name of the world's best behaved girl. The description of a little girl named Charlotte from Provence in south of France whets his appetite. Now I think some of you could go onto Google Maps and try and find out what Provence in the south of France is. That's something that you could do as an extra activity and find out about the region and what it's famous for. Right, back to the story. So this is a description of the girl Charlotte. Excellent pupil, impeccable hygiene. So let's think back to the word deplorable hygiene, impeccable hygiene. Says prayers every night, clears the dinner table without being asked. P.S. What's more, she sorts the recycling. A culinary perfection, the Yark cries in ecstasy. He was thinking, this is going to make me a really good meal, yeah? It is true that those who top their class taste exquisite, reminiscent of the aroma of cherry pie. In a frenzy of impatience, the monster lets his full weight send him plummeting into the heart of Provence. And now here he is, already inside Charlotte's house. On tiptoes, the ravenous visitor approaches her bed. His enormous bulk moves without a sound. As he gloats over his prey, a bouquet of aromas tickles his nostrils. Oh, yum, purrs the monster. This good little girl smells absolutely scrumptious. Now, he regrets not having brought accompaniments to round out his banquet, because if green beans go with mutton the way mashed potatoes go with ham, nothing is more succulent than a leg of a little girl garnished with a handful of peanuts. His razor-sharp claws strokes the sleeping child's pink cheek. "Hey there," he whispers, to wake her gently. The one thing he mustn't do is frighten her. All good monsters know that terror chills the blood and strips the flesh of its delicacy. Charlotte opens her eyes. A shaggy mountain smiles down at her with all his jagged teeth. Now, what do you think she's going to do? She's got this monster in her room who's about to come and eat her. What would you do if you were in that position? Let's find out. "The Yark!" she shrieks, but she adds a succession of senseless phrases. "Ah, wonderful! Thank you, Lord. The Yark has come." And Charlotte throws herself into the monster's arms and showers him with kisses. Flabbergasted, the Yark repels her with an indignant shove. "But you should be afraid of me, silly girl. I'm a monster." "Oh, but not just any monster," the girl smiles mischievously. "You're the Yark, and I read in a book that you can't eat naughty children." "Oh, really? That may be," mutters the Yark, embarrassed to have his personal difficulties brought up like this. "But you're so nice, you're going to make a delicious meal," he continues in his big voice. "Precisely," whispers the Paragon of Good Conduct. The Paragon of Good Conduct. Who do you think the author's referring to? Paragon of Good Conduct. Yeah, it's Charlotte. Lovely description. "I'm sick and tired of being a good example. I badly want to misbehave, only I never dare." There's a strange gleam in her eyes. "What are you talking about?" asks the monster, vaguely uneasy. Whereupon Charlotte takes a small book from the drawer of her bedside table. This very instructive volume offers 1,001 ways to defend oneself against monsters. Several chapters are devoted to you. She leaves through a few pages, then reads a passage aloud. "In case of Yark attack, it is imperative that you immediately start misbehaving in order to make yourself inedible. If you do so, this monster, which is allergic to bad children, will be unable to gobble you up. A swear word, a barefaced lie, or pouring milk over your little brother will make you toxic for several hours. And if you pee on the carpet, you will remain inedible until daybreak." Shut up, shrieks the Yark in a fit of rage. That book doesn't know what it's talking about. But in fact, the monster's fury confirms that all this is true. "All right then, let's see," Charlotte says in triumph. "Where shall I start? Shall I say some swear words? Pee on the floor? Or murder my dolls?" "No, have mercy," begs the monster, down on his knees. "I'm so hungry. Don't make yourself inedible." Charlotte shuts the book with a determined look. "I'm going to start with swear words." "You're too well-mannered. You'll never be able to do it," the monster roars beside himself. "Poo, pee, fart," the little girl bowls defiantly. "My meal is ruined," the Yark chokes between sobs. The frenzied child leaps onto a table to chant this deplorable refrain. "With every fart my granny lets, her false teeth clacks like castanets. Ole!" All that delicious food gone to waste, the monster moans through his tears. Drunk with delight, Charlotte races to the four corners of the room, tipping over furniture, ripping the hair from her dolls, stamping her teddy bears underfoot. "What fun!" she whoops, pulling down her pajamas with the intention of taking a poop in her book bag. No, not that!" the Yark yells, indignant. Suddenly, a commotion from the hallway interrupts their dispute. Alerted by Charlotte's cries, her father and mother have woken up. "Your parents!" the Yark cries. "Oh, when they see this carnage, they'll give you a well-deserved spanking." "No, they won't. I'll tell them that you attacked me." "Oh, you will you? And how will you prove you're telling the truth?" With this, Charlotte yanks a handful of hair from the Yark's bottom. "Ouch!" shrieks the scandalized monster. There really is nothing more sadistic on this earth than a well-brought-up little girl. With a crash of breaking glass, he hurls himself through the window that he unfortunately doesn't have time to open. The shock is such that a section of wall collapses. At that moment, the girl's parents burst into the devastated room. "What's going on?" asks her panic-stricken mother. A first-rate actress, Charlotte melts into tears and throws herself into her father's arms. "The Yark! He attacked me!" "The Yark?" Her parents shudder. "Yes, and I was forced to misbehave frightfully to keep him from devouring me." "My poor darling," her mother moans and pulls the child to her. Her father gravely examines a hank of hair lying on the floor. "This is Yark hair without a doubt." "You won't punish me, will you, Papa?" Charlotte begs, turning her great doe eyes in his direction. "No, my daughter, you did the right thing. And rest assured, after this fine lesson, that infamous monster won't be back to bother you again." "You think not?" Charlotte murmurs sadly, looking out at the stars through the devastated wall. So that's the end of chapter 5. We have had finally a bit of action with the monster meeting his meal, but it didn't quite turn out how he had planned. I really enjoyed reading this chapter because I was quite surprised actually when Charlotte decided to go and hug and kiss him. Now, I want you to leave you thinking about this. What impression do you get about Charlotte? Because we know that she's actually a really good girl, but she misbehaves. And particularly that bit at the end where she says, "You think not," and murmurs sadly, looking out at the stars through the devastated wall. I want you to think about all of these things and think about what impression do you get about Charlotte and what do you think will happen next. I'll be back tomorrow to read you the next part of the story. Okay, so take care and see you tomorrow. Bye.